Mumbai civic body BMC stirs new controversy. Clears proposal to make singing Vande Mataram compulsory in civic schools. Also makes it compulsory to sing Vande Mataram before every civic committee meeting in BMC. Interim ban by NGT on non-biodegradable plastic bags less than 50 microns in the national capital. A fine of 5,000 on offenders found in possession of such bags. After Chandigarh and Mumbai, another incident of stalking from Gurugram. 25-year-old woman allegedly chased by men in a car. VIP brat Vikas Barala and his friend Ashish Kumar sent to 2-day police custody in the Chandigarh stalking case. Next hearing scheduled for August 12th. A 7-year-old allegedly raped in a school in Meerut. The principal and another student taken into custody. National level wrestler electrocuted to death at the Jaipal Singh Stadium in Ranchi due to a short circuit in the flooded and dilapidated stadium building. After Jab Harry Met Sejal, CBFC now wants the word intercourse out of a Tamil film. For over a month now, the film denied clearance certificate from the board. Good evening. You're watching The Big Story with me, Apni Raja. Let's get straight to our big story today. In fact, it's a Mirror Now exclusive. Visuals, CCTV visuals on your screen, exclusively accessed by Mirror Now, captured the moments exactly 5 minutes before the building in Ghatkopar in Mumbai collapsed like a pack of cards. This is what unfolded at the site of a man-made disaster which killed 17 people. Those visuals there on your screens of residents running out and the building collapsing like a pack of cards. Let's take a look at what our reporter who's been tracking this, Disha Shah, who got us these exclusive visuals, take a look at her report.
Yes, that's right. Mirror Now has exclusively accessed the CCTV footage of the day of the incident where the Ghatkopar building came crashing down on 25th of July. In fact, this was exactly the same spot. If I can ask my camera person to zoom in, this is the spot where Shitap used to stay here on the ground floor of the residential building where more than 15 families used to reside. And exactly 5 minutes before the incident, we saw, as you can see in the CCTV footage, we saw him stepping out of this residential building and getting into his car and moving from this residential building. And exactly after 5 minutes later, we can see that the laborers, Shitap's laborers who used to work at that point in time, and they were the ones who had carried out illegal alterations and had affected the major structures and pillars. We saw those laborers, at least 8 to 10 laborers, running out and screaming and shouting and alarming people and residents staying in this locality to come down as the building might fall anytime soon. And this is what exactly happened after 2 minutes. And even after 20 seconds, for that matter, the entire building came crashing down. And even the CCTV footage, we saw that how the residents were angry on those laborers, and we could see the laborers flooding the spot, the scene, just way before the building came crashing down. And of course, we know for the fact when we spoke to the survivors, they have been warning Shitap not to carry out any illegal work here or any renovation work done on the nursing home, which he wanted to convert it into a beer bar. But Shitap did not hear anybody's plight, is what the survivors told us. And exactly the very same time, the major pillars were affected, due to which the entire building came crashing down. And right now what we understand is that Shitap is under judicial custody. He, along with an interior designer, and the third accused in this case, who is an architect by profession, is still absconding. And police officials, when we spoke to, they said they are trying their best to nab him. Panvel and Pune, both the teams are there at this point in time trying to trace the third accused.
All right, those are the visuals once again playing out for you on your screen. The visuals just minutes before the entire building actually collapsed like a pack of cards. You can see Sunil Shitap actually getting into the car, getting away, and then just within minutes you can see the workers storming out of the building and pointing at it. That's what you can see on the visuals. And then within minutes, the residents also come out, and some of the residents, while the entire building collapses like a pack of cards. Those are the exclusive visuals, the CCTV footage of this entire incident that you can see on your screens, accessed exclusively by Mirror Now. These of that very building on the 25th of July. Remember, that was when this building came down, leaving 17 people dead, including children, and several others injured. Sena leader Sunil Shitap is the main accused in this case. And he's the man who's being seen leaving the site just minutes before the building actually came crashing down. Let's go across to Disha, who's been tracking the story from the beginning. Disha, we saw the entire footage, as we can see, playing out on our screens. But before we get to the other details about this, first tell us the latest as far as the investigation is concerned, and Sunil Shitap and the contractor.
Certainly, Avni, of course, our viewers have seen the footage, but as far as the investigation goes, like, we know for the fact that the Chief Minister, on the very same day of the incident, had asked the PMC chief to appoint a 3-member committee who will look after all of this. And we know for the fact that the investigation is underway and the report will be submitted sometime next week soon. In terms of Sunil Shitap's arrest, he is in judicial custody at the moment, and the third accused in this case, who is an architect, he is absconding at the moment.
Right. Disha, of course, the other important issue, of course, is that when you did a status check as far as the victims are concerned, it has been nearly 3 weeks and they haven't received their compensations as promised by both the central and state governments.
That's right, Avni, and this is very, the situation is really horrible because it's been more than over 15 days now, and the survivors, because we know for the fact there were 15 families who used to stay in that building. 17 members have already lost their lives and 30 more were injured. And those 30 people, they are still waiting for temporary homes that was promised by the state government. In fact, just to recall for our viewers, Avni, on the very same day of the incident, the Chief Minister had visited the spot, and categorically he had promised and gave an assurance that within 2 days, like within 48 hours, you will get a temporary home. But it's been over 15 days now, and what the residents are getting is just promises and assurances by the state government.
Right. In fact, let's go across to Avdut Wagh, spokesperson of the BJP, who's joining me on the phone line, and pose that question to him. Thank you very much, Mr. Wagh, for joining in. I don't know if you just heard my colleague Disha say that the residents haven't received their temporary homes. They haven't received the full amount that was promised to them by both the centre and state governments. What are your comments?
There are two issues. One is temporary accommodation and one is a temporary relief and final relief. As far as the temporary relief is concerned, all the tenants have got 5 lakh rupees check within 48 hours from the incident happened, and it is given in the hands of Honorable Chief Minister in the presence of Housing Minister Prakash Mehta and the local representative. So this is, everybody knows about it. As far as the final disbursement is concerned, where central government has also promised to pay this, that will come definitely in due course. Right now, whatever funds required for a temporary rehabilitation is done. As far as the PAP is concerned, project affected peoples are concerned, I think 50% of the people have already got shelter. and within 2 to 3 days, the balanced people will get the shelter. Now, 3 families, they have got their own relatives staying nearby, and they have decided to stay with their relatives. This is the fact of the case.
Right. Mr. Wagh, we have, from what we've got, the fact is that only 10 to 12 people have received 3 lakhs out of the 5 lakhs that they were supposed to get. But you're saying that all those who were supposed to get 5 lakhs, all the families have received?
The problem is of one family entirely, it has gone down the debris. And now the relative, the near relative has to come. It is a question of identifying the nearest relative. That is point number 1. And you are talking about 15 families. That is not correct. It is not 15 families.
Okay.
The building was very small. It was only 9 families who were staying over there. 7 flats were belonging to Sunil Shitap himself. Okay, he is the accused of that particular case. There is no question of giving any compensation to Sunil Shitap and his family. Right?
Okay.
So the story is something different. I understand that the total building is G+3 storage. The total ground floor was converted into a hospital. Nobody was staying over there.
Right.
Now, as far as the first floor is concerned, out of 4 flats, 3 flats were belonging to Sunil Shitap.
Okay.
So only 9 flats were there and 9 families were there. This is to be noted. I request you to kindly go through the entire document and then come out. If there are any problems, any lacunas from our government, definitely we will definitely try to help the people. Our Honorable Housing Minister himself, Prakash Mehta, is keenly looking into this particular matter.
Right. So, Mr. Wagh, just to clarify, you're saying that out of the total number of families who were living there, there are only 9 families, excluding, of course, the flats that belong to Sunil Shitap, 9 families who have been given compensation, and there's nobody remaining.
If anybody has got any problem, they can definitely ask, they can definitely approach directly our Honorable Housing Minister Prakash Mehta, who is staying only 5 minutes distance from the building. So Prakash Mehta is staying in Ghatkopar. It is only 5 minutes walking distance or 10 minutes walking distance from this. If anybody has got problem, I really don't know, because I am at Delhi and I am on your phone call. If anybody has got any problem,
right,
they can definitely contact Honorable Prakash Mehta or our government. Within 24 hours, we will help them. That is the assurance what I can give you, sir.
All right. And as far as the temporary accommodation is concerned, because last we were told that within 2 days, all the families will get temporary accommodation, but that has not yet happened. And it's now 16 days later.
Our Honorable Chief Minister, our Honorable Member of Parliament, our Honorable Housing Minister, the local MLAs, everybody has visited. Everybody is very well knowing everything about the case. We have got a full sympathy with the people, and if any lacuna, I reiterate, if any lacuna, if any help remain balanced, definitely we will go 2 steps further to discharge our duties and responsibilities.
All right. And Mr. Wagh, what about what the state, the central government has promised as far as both for the injured and the next of kin for those who lost their lives?
See, it is basically the center who is going to give that help through the state government channel. Right now, state government has already given the initial help of rupees 3 lakhs or 5 lakhs. I am not very sure about it. And that is good enough to start another 15, 20 days or 1 month problem of that. The total help, see to it that our neighbors, I am staying in Ghatkopar, we will see to it that the people who have lost everything in this particular incident will be properly compensated, except the life, which is not in our hand. We are feeling very sorry about it. But definitely, as far as the wealth and shelter is concerned, the government is very sympathetic about it.
All right. Thanks very much, Mr. Wagh, for joining us and telling us all of that. But moving on, after we accessed these incriminating visuals that are currently on your screens, Mirror Now also went on ground to check the status of the victims. Their dreams were crushed overnight on the 25th of July. Speaking to the residents, we found out that it has been really nearly 3 weeks, and despite Chief Minister Fadnavis's promise to ensure that they are accommodated at an alternative place, they continue to be homeless. The injured have not received any compensation. Listen in to what the residents have to say.
It's been over 2 weeks now that this site that you see, there used to be a building here which came crashing down exactly on 25th of July this year, which claimed more than 17 lives. And we are here talking about after 16 days, and the survivors here, the families who have survived this horrific incident, they are still waiting for temporary homes, accommodation which was promised by the government almost 2 weeks back. In fact, I have here a couple of survivors with me.
Now what has happened with me, I have taken room for the 1 month only, which I am paying 21,000 as a rent. Apart from that, I am also paying my regular EMI, that housing loan EMI, which comes to around 32,000. So 50,000 person like me, I am not Shitap, whose income is 1 crore rupees.
Yeah, हम मेरी मम्मी के घर पे रह रहे हैं. So I mean that is also not sure how long we'll be able to stay there. Finally, we have to move to rented homes. So again, we are not working. We have taken leaves. So for how long we have to run for getting the temporary accommodation.
All right, also joining in now on the phone line is Varis Pathan from AIMIM. Thank you very much, Mr. Pathan, for joining in. You've heard of the entire case, this entire issue, this entire building that collapsed, and now it's been 16 days and the victims, the residents who've lost their homes, who've lost their family, are still waiting for temporary accommodation. What are your comments?
Hey, madam, the Ghatkopar incident is just a tip-off in the Mumbai. I'll tell you, we have been raising these issues several occasions in the assembly as well. That in South Mumbai itself, there are 16,000 old and dilapidated buildings which can collapse any time. And the fund which is being given to the MLA for repair works is only 3 lakh, in which the buildings cannot be repaired. These buildings are of more than 100-year-old, but the government is not taking any immediate prompt steps to ensure the safety of the people. What happened in Ghatkopar? The building collapsed. One of the Sena leaders who was doing the construction work below had cut down certain beams, I think so, pillars, and the building collapsed. Now he is there in jail. He is given judicial custody. After some time, he will come out on bail. What will happen to the innocent people who lost their lives and the people who are just now living in some alternate accommodation? So this the entire blame goes to the government and the Mumbai Municipal Corporation, which does not take immediate steps prior to such kind of collapses. Now after the building collapses, people die, they give compensation. So why not prior to that, why not repair and do certain things which the building does not collapse then? Why? See, once a small person, a poor person who makes a jhopda, these people, they come and demolish the hut. Now, this is going on in a big way when the construction work is going on, and you believe that the BMC officers does not know. Can they keep a silent eye? Can they not go there and recheck? And because of their lethargy, 17 or 18 people lost their lives in the Ghatkopar incident. It's very condemnable, madam. It's a heart-touching incident in which people who were just at their home, they lost their lives because of the delinquency duty of the BMC officers and the Gundaism of the Shiv Sena leader. Now we come to know from several newspapers and through your channels that that guy had also done certain other things in other projects as well. He's a history cheater, that means. So why the area in charge or the BMC officers, whosoever were in charge in that area, does not take prior and immediate steps to ensure that such kind of people are taken into custody, such kind of are prevented from doing such kind of activities? I was the BMC. And now further also, I'll tell you, in Mumbai, I have made this statement in the assembly and I am making it before you right now, that if the government does not take prompt and immediate steps, there will be more casualties in Mumbai because there are several buildings, even in my constituency, which are in the verge of collapsing, and the fund which is being provided for such building is very, very, very less. And so it will create a lot and lot of trouble in Mumbai, and we will hold the government responsible if something untoward happens to them.
Right.
And my full sympathy with these people who are there.
Right. Mr. Pathan, you said that this is just, the Ghatkopar collapse is just the tip of the iceberg. Based on your research, based on what you have seen, how many such buildings are at risk in Mumbai?
16,000 buildings are there in South Mumbai, which are 100-year-old and which are verge of collapsing. If you or your team crew come along with me to one of some certain buildings, you won't even climb the stairs, feeling that if we climb the stairs, whether we will come down or no. People who are sleeping in their homes, madam, let me tell you, they are so much worried and afraid to sleep that they don't know whether they will wake up in the morning alive. This is the conditions of the buildings. The government, I have also advised the government to kindly take out certain proposals, kindly give certain proposals for cluster development, give some more incentives to the builders, or let the Mahada develop it, but please redevelop the old buildings, otherwise you will have to face the consequences. The people's wrath will be on the government and the Mumbai Municipal Commissioner, the corporation, who with the budget of 34,000 crore rupees does not provide security to the people of Mumbai.
So in your view, how should this entire thing proceed? Does the government really need to do now?
The government really need to do is the government for the Ghatkopar thing, they have given the compensation.
Yes.
The persons who were involved in it, the architect and the Shiv Sena leader have been arrested. Now, if in order to prevent such kind of incidents in future, the government must increase the funds for repairs first. Second, the government must provide certain incentives to builders who are willing to come ahead so that if they earn money, they can redevelop the building. There should be a cooperation between the landlords, the tenants, and as the Chief Minister of Maharashtra has done a very nice thing with the last week, he has announced that now if 51% of the residents give consent, the building can go for redevelopment, which is a very welcome move by the Chief Minister of our state. And if that move takes place, the buildings will be developed. So in order to secure the life of the innocent people who have been staying in such old and dilapidated buildings, the government must come forward and they must take steps to ensure the safety. So without them, nothing will happen, because there are scrupulous landlords who don't give permission to the builders to redevelop. There are tenants who become blackmailers and no, if you give us this much area, we will vacate, otherwise we will not vacate. So the government for such kind of people must try to take out certain laws that if they try to create hindrance in the redevelopment of the building, such kind of people should be dealt with accordingly. Then only, madam, I tell you, we can ensure safety of people in Mumbai. There are 16,000 buildings as per the RTI report. You can check from the RTI how many old and dilapidated buildings are there. According to me, there are 16,000 buildings in Mumbai. To ensure the safety, the government must take prompt and immediate action, I guess.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Pathan, for joining us on Mirror Now. All right. Now, after we accessed these incriminating visuals on your screens, Mirror Now went on a ground check to check the status of the victims. Their dreams were crushed overnight on the 25th of July. Speaking to the residents, we found out that it has been nearly 3 weeks, and despite Chief Minister Fadnavis's promise to ensure that they are accommodated and given an alternative place, they continue to be homeless. The injured have not received any compensation as well. Listen in.
It's been over 2 weeks now that this site that you see, there used to be a building here which came crashing down exactly on 25th of July this year, which claimed more than 17 lives. And we are here talking about after 16 days, and the survivors here, the families who have survived this horrific incident, they are still waiting for temporary homes, accommodation which was promised by the government almost 2 weeks back. In fact, I have here a couple of survivors with me.
Now what has happened with me, I have taken room for the 1 month only, which I am paying 21,000 as a rent. Apart from that, I am also paying my regular EMI, that housing loan EMI, which comes to around 32,000. So 50,000 person like me, I am not Shitap, whose income is 1 crore rupees.
Yeah, हम लोग मेरी मम्मी के घर पे रह रहे हैं. So I mean that is also not sure how long we'll be able to stay there. Finally, we have to move to rented homes. So again, we are not working. We have taken leaves. So for how long we have to run for getting the temporary accommodation? We should get it at the earliest.
2 दिन में बोले थे, 2 दिन के बाद 4 दिन, 4 दिन से 8 दिन, आज 15 से 16 दिन हो गए. अभी तक हम लोग कोई आश्वासन, खाली आश्वासन मिल रहा है कि मिलेगा मिलेगा, कब तक मिलेगा कुछ नहीं। अब दूसरे घर पे कब तक रहेंगे हम लोग।
सीएम फंड ने मतलब जो डेट थे उनको सीएम फंड की तरफ से अनाउंस था 5 लाख, बट एक्चुअली मिला है 3। और इंजर्ड के लिए सीएम फंड से क्रिसोमे के लेटर पे ही हमने देखा था कि 2 लाख था। बट अब इंजर्ड का भी डेफिनेशन मतलब आई एम नॉट श्योर कि इनकी डेफिनेशन क्या है इंजर्ड की मीन्स।
All right, that's a wrap on this edition of The Big Story. Thanks for watching and stay tuned to Mirror.